Okay, so you've heard the amazing things that businesses are doing on YouTube to really generate leads for their business, right? And so it's like, all right, I got to jump on this thing. I've got to really get going on YouTube. So the question that we're going to cover today is, what do you need to start a YouTube channel? Okay, so we're going to talk about gear and keep it at a basic level, because to get started, you just need the basics. We're going to talk about content and the type of content you should create to begin with. We're going to talk about miscellaneous things as well that you'll need, like a channel name and how you're going to build your audience. And we'll wrap it up with some attributes that you'll need right in the beginning to make sure that you succeed. Okay, to start your YouTube channel, the first thing that you need is a camera. But you know what? Don't go to Amazon. Just pull out the camera that's on your phone. You've got it in your pocket or your purse right now. Start here. Seriously. When I first got into video production as a profession, it was by accident, okay? I was selling website design at the time, and I needed to make some videos to promote my service. It was just me talking, and I had gotten the new iPhone 4S. It was the first iPhone that had an HD camera, and I figured out how to make the shot look nice. Okay, so I filmed myself with my iPhone and I started pushing those videos out to people so they'd want to buy my services. Well, some of my clients saw my videos and they said, "Hey, those are nice videos. Can you make some like that for me?" And I said, "Well, I'm just filming with my iPhone." They were surprised, but they thought, well, if you know how to work it, make it look that good, yeah, I want to hire you. So for over a year, I offered video production as a service, just using my iPhone, but the old version, my iPhone 4S. I mean, I had professional lighting, I set up a white paper backdrop, and I even used a teleprompter with many of my clients, but we were filming with the iPhone. So whatever phone you have in your pocket now definitely has a much more advanced camera than the iPhone 4S did. All the features are automatic, they're way, way better. You're probably filming in 4K a lot of the time now. To start a YouTube channel, you've already got an amazing camera. Okay, another thing that you need to start a YouTube channel is a light source. So right now, and I'll show you these lights in just a minute, I've got a big softbox there, I've got a big what I call V-flat right there, it's a photography thing. So I've got a lot of light coming to me right there, and it's huge because I like to simulate a window. And that actually brings me to a suggestion. Start using a window. A window is a perfect light source for your videos. So you don't necessarily want direct sunlight on you, but when you've got daylight coming in and lighting on you and the camera's up by the window and looking at you. In fact, let me just show you. Okay, I'll just hold this at arm's length, but let me come back here and show you. That's what I was doing. So right there, all right, so you can see where I was sitting and you can see the big things that I was doing to simulate windows. And I wanted windows there because I wanted the kitchen directly behind me. But if I walk over here by a window, all right, so now the camera's right at a window. Look how good that light is. In the background, it's beautiful, it's blurry. So you can have, I don't have any professional lights on me right now. You can just use a window as your light source. Okay, it probably goes without saying, but you need to set up a YouTube account or make sure that you have one. And if you don't know how to do that, then bring up Google. I'm on Google now. I don't know what this animation here is. It's cute, whatever it is. But type in how to create a new YouTube account. And we've got instructions right here. So now you know how to find the instructions of how to set up a YouTube account. Okay, this one might be obvious, but you need content. Okay, what are you going to talk about in your videos? Now, the strategy that I use, it's all how-to content, right? We're sharing our expertise, whether we're coaches, speakers, course creators, we have expertise that we're sharing, and so we're answering how-to questions on YouTube, okay? But is there other types of content? Oh yeah, I mean, we've seen it all, right? We've seen comedy, we've seen music, we've seen other types of entertainment. There's vlogging, which is reality TV. There's just behind the scenes content. There are live shows, there's game shows. So if you spend time on YouTube, probably a small percentage of what you're watching is how-to content. I mean, everyone's different. It depends on how you use YouTube. Some of the content we come across can be numbing and just, we want to binge watch and kind of like Netflix, right? What I love about what I do is the more content of mine people watch, the more empowered they are, the more educated they are, and hopefully they have enough tools that they can start taking action and getting better results. So sometimes I make assumptions about the diversity of the audience watching these videos. I assume that you're going to be making how-to content. So go ahead and comment below what type of how-to content are you going to be making videos on, Or if you're going to be making other types of content, like my kids make sketch comedy, go ahead and comment below because I'm curious to know what other types of content you are or plan to be creating. I produce over a dozen different YouTube channels, and on all of them, we create how-to content. How to do this or how to do that, how to invest your money in your 20s, how to get kids to listen without yelling, how to design a living room with a corner fireplace, how to get rid of strep throat without antibiotic. Okay, how to. The title doesn't have to start with how to, but that's the most common way that we search when we go to Google and YouTube. If you want to be successful on YouTube in turning your channel into a lead generation machine for your business, you've got to create tons and tons, hundreds and hundreds of how-to episodes. Now, you can't just make up these questions. You can't just say, well, how to do, and then make up something. You've got to do keyword research to find what questions people are actually asking consistently. So if after this episode you want to watch that one right now, look for the video, how to find the best keywords for YouTube video. Next, you need a channel name. I mean, that kind of seems obvious, but there is a spectrum of how you're going to name it. You could name it after yourself. So the channel name is your name, your first and last name. You can name it after your business. I highly discourage you doing that, but you can name it after your business or your brand, or somewhere in between. You can go after a cause or a movement or just a topic, something that doesn't sound corporate like a business. You can change your channel name over time. When you do that, there are negative consequences to your channel. You will lose some subscribers. You will abandon some of your audience. And too narrow of a channel name can kind of trap you so that years later you're just bored. So putting a lot of thought and time into deciding what your channel name is, it's really worth that extra effort. All right, the last thing I'm going to mention here, but probably the most important thing that you need to start a YouTube channel is you need an audience. Now, you don't have to have an audience yet, but you have to know where you're going to get your audience from. Like, who is your audience? Maybe you have a following already. Maybe you've got a following on Instagram or LinkedIn or some other social platform. Maybe you've got a big company. Maybe you've got a big email list. Okay, so you might have a following, and that can start to be your following on YouTube. But you've got to picture this audience. You've got to know who you're talking to, and when you make your videos, you make content for that audience. You speak to them and you speak on topics that you know that they will be interested in. Now, one of the easiest ways of doing this is you think, okay, I know what my expertise is, and there are tools that you can use to find the questions, find the specific wording of the questions that people are asking out there around your area of expertise. So what that does is it helps you find your audience even before you film a video. This is so key and so golden. This is what all of my clients do. Okay, so if you're an interior designer, you might do keyword research and find the phrase, how to design a living room with a corner fireplace. Okay, got it. Now I know the question that they're asking, so I can make a video and I can talk specifically to them, answering their questions. Now I know who my audience is. My audience in this video is somebody who wants to know how to design their living room with a corner fireplace. Or it might be how to get my kids to listen without yelling. So now I know I'm talking to parents who are struggling with their parenting. They use yelling and they don't want to. They want to figure out how to do it a better way. Okay, so now you're probably wondering, that sounds like a pretty cool tool. I've made a whole other episode, and that's what I recommend you watch right now. I'll link to it up there, and I'll also link to it on the side right here. It's called How to Find the Best Keywords for YouTube Videos. Go ahead and watch that one now. Okay, you know what something really important is that you need to start a YouTube channel? Well, if you follow my strategy, you need a huge amount of commitment, right? I talk about launching 5 episodes every single week for the first year or 2 years. So that's 260 episodes in the first year, 260 episodes in the second year. That's a big commitment. And especially, now get this, I also teach that the first 4 months, okay, you're launching 5 episodes a week. The first 4 months of doing that, you're not going to see very much growth. I mean, what you're going to feel like, you're going to see a bed like this, and instead of filming episodes, you're just going to want to lay back and take a nap. I just want to take a nap. Now that you know all that it takes to start a YouTube channel, the video that I want you to watch next that you're really going to enjoy is how to find the best keywords for YouTube. I am an expert on YouTube and keywords and knowing how to get your video ranked on day 1, so go check out that episode.